Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Sonia Blake, and I want to welcome you to the Valley Economic Alliance Wildfire Disaster Relief and Recovery webinar. We have been going through so much. It's been just today makes 1 week that LA has been besieged by not one, but many fires, exacerbated by extreme winds. And we've had quite a bit of devastation in our city. And our hearts at the Alliance are very much with those who have lost homes, livelihood, lives, family members, pets, and lost so much. And so many of us have just lost a sense of security. I am excited by the speakers and presenters that we have today because these are the people who are helping us to get relief to our residents and plant the seeds of recovery that are so important to do early on. So we have a fantastic lineup of speakers that are going to share a bird's eye view of some of the resources that are available. We're going to be popping information into the chat so that you can be in touch with them. I'm going to ask our speakers to put links, handouts, whatever you would like people to have in their hands, put those in the chat. I want to encourage our attendees to put your questions in the Q&A section of our webinar so that we'll be able to get to as many of those as we possibly can. With that, I'd like to introduce our distinguished board chair of our board of directors, who has been a steadfast supporter of small businesses and our entire community. And I'm so thrilled that she's able to be with us and share a few welcoming comments. Armida Colmenares Stafford.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Welcome, everybody. As we all know, currently our region is facing a crisis. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected, and we are deeply grateful to all the first responders who are working tirelessly to assist those needs. During this challenging time, it is also heartening to see people coming together, supporting one another in this devastating and bringing the very best of humanities. I want to thank Sonia and the team and all the panelists here today who jointly with the Alliance are partnering to provide critical information and resources. Our goal is to be there for you, help you through this crisis, and provide you with the needs that you're going to need to get you to the next level. So with all that, just know LA County stays together. We will come through out of this just like we did with COVID, and we are here for you. So God bless, and back to you, Sonia.
Thank you, Armida. Much appreciated. We're going to get into our panelists. We have quite a few of them. We're going to hear from each of them, and then we'll have a minute for some Q&A that we will take from the chat. If you are on the phone and unable to type in the chat, you can raise your virtual hand, and we'll see if we can get you off mute so we can get some questions answered. I want to start with the most fundamental of our needs: food, clothing, shelter, and that's where the Red Cross always comes in to assist. When the San Fernando Valley was hit by the Northridge earthquake and the Alliance was founded, the Red Cross was there. During the pandemic, when the Alliance was there helping small businesses to navigate through the health orders as well as the economic downturn triggered by the pandemic, the Red Cross was there as well. And the Red Cross is there for us during the wildfires. I want to acknowledge Megan Dolger and have Megan from the Red Cross just talk to us for some minutes about what you're working on and what you want our constituency to know. Please, Megan.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, though I wish it were under different circumstances. You know, the Red Cross is an organization focused on disaster response and recovery, but we are also keenly focused on strengthening community resiliency, and businesses, especially small businesses, are such an integral part of what makes a community strong. And so we know that all of the organizations represented today are comprised of people and families, and that is really what the Red Cross is here to support. And so I wanted to talk from this vantage point today. We're in the business of helping people and alleviating human suffering, and The first note is that we can't do this on our own. None of us can do this on our own. And so I want to say thank you to the partners, including those on the call today. None of us can meet this immense need in isolation. And so we are just unwaveringly grateful to be joined by so many compassionate and skilled organizations and people. Being a safety forward organization, I have to start by saying that we know this morning all of Los Angeles is under some level of severe warning. And so please, first and foremost, a reminder to stay vigilant with your bag packed and an evacuation plan solidified. These fires are still actively burning and evolving, and we want everybody to take care of yourself and your loved ones. I want to give you a little bit of situational awareness for what the Red Cross is engaged in currently and what we will be engaged in days and weeks and frankly months to come. So the first piece is really about mass care. A big part of what we do is to support those immediate needs of the people and families who have fled from their homes. So this morning, around 800 people woke up in a Red Cross shelter seeking refuge after they were forced from their homes. And as this group knows too well, many of these folks lost everything, and it's going to be a road to recovery. In addition to the hundreds of people in our shelters last night, I'm pleased to share that we had 28 dogs, 16 cats, and even 2 birds, because we know that these are family members too, and people don't want to leave home without their pets. In the shelters, there are additional resources. In addition to a safe place to stay and warm meals, we have disaster health volunteers who are working to care for minor cuts and injuries. We know that the smoke and the air quality is presenting challenges, especially to folks who had health concerns prior to these wildfires breaking out. We also have disaster mental health workers who are providing emotional support to those experiencing this unimaginable loss. And anyone can go to a Red Cross shelter and receive these services, even if you're not staying overnight there. So please recommend that to anyone in your network. We're also making sure that folks have full bellies. So in close partnership with many other organizations, we have served around 15,000 meals so far. And we know this is going to be a continued part of our efforts to make sure that people who no longer have kitchens to prepare food in have a way to feed themselves and their families. So our shelters are all serving 3 meals a day plus snacks. Again, that's open to folks even if you're not staying overnight there. And I really want to underscore that in our shelters, everyone is welcome. It's crucial that we let folks know that our shelters are a safe place truly for everyone. No one will be turned away, regardless of their background or circumstance. Our mission provides compassionate care without barriers. We don't ask for identification, and we give assistance whether someone stays overnight or not. And this is especially important because we know that 1 in 10 Angelenos is undocumented. And so I want to really underscore that everyone is welcome and safe in a Red Cross shelter. We do invite our partners into the shelters to help support our communities. And so we will be working with housing authorities. We are already in conversation. We sometimes have FEMA representatives come in to assist shelter clients in filling out applications for assistance, but none of those folks are allowed into the dormitories. So that if there are people who are not wanting to mix and mingle with some of our partner organizations, they should know that everyone is welcome and everyone has a safe place, regardless of circumstance. You'll note that the vast majority of folks impacted is huge. The volume of lost homes is huge, and there is a significant population of vulnerable communities. And so we're anticipating a great deal of client care assistance, which is where we have a Red Cross caseworker who meets directly with the family to help bridge and identify what support is needed to move forward. I'm very pleased to let this group know that our first round of immediate financial assistance will begin tomorrow. So this is just 1 week from the day of the first fire. And through partnerships, we have contact information, we think, for about 98% of the households that were damaged. And the Red Cross is going to be proactively reaching out to let people know that they qualify for assistance and invite them to receive support. So by tomorrow, when our financial assistance program launches, we expect to support more than 17,000 households that have been destroyed so far. So what I really want to impress upon this group of community leaders is that folks are going to be getting emails and text messages from the Red Cross offering our support. And sometimes this looks a little fishy to people. I know most of us in this day and age are reluctant to click a link that comes via an unsolicited text message. And so we're really trying to get the word out that this is the Red Cross and that we're trying to offer people financial assistance to take care of their immediate needs. So we've been communicating with elected officials and media to try to communicate this, but if people receive a text message, it is likely really from the Red Cross, and we really just want to help offer support.
Thank you, Megan.
The last thing I want to just say is that the power of our organization is that we mobilize from our network all across the country. So we've got 450 Red Crossers on the ground who've come from elsewhere in the country to help to make sure no one faces this heartbreak alone. And they joined the 6,000 Los Angeles area Red Crossers who are day in and day out a part of this community. And we have had 10,000 new volunteer applications this week alone. That's 10,000 people who stepped forward to compassionately help their neighbors. And we are trying to plug as many of these folks into shifts, working in shelters, serving meals, and helping as possible. And so just thank you from the bottom of my heart for the compassion that is coming from this community.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate those comments. And before we go on to our next speaker, I just wanted to ask you, Megan, if you might put contact information in the chat or a link or whatever have you. And if it sounded like the folks who are eligible for that aid will be contacted. So it's not like anyone is eligible. So if there's eligibility information, maybe you can put that in the chat as well.
True. And the thing that keeps me up at night are the people who we missed. So anyone can call 1-800-RED-CROSS and check in if they can receive services.
Wonderful. 1-800-RED-CROSS. And if you didn't mind also, someone is asking in the chat about how people can find the locations of the shelters. Maybe you can put that in the chat.
Yes, I'd love to link a map that is, in real time updating in the chat as well.
Beautiful, super helpful. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. So now we are going on to the USSBA. The USSBA has so many wonderful divisions to it. And one of the divisions is to really help in time of disaster. And so we're so thrilled to have the district director of the LA District Office with us today, Julie Klaus, one of the alliances, be with us and tell us what's the SBA doing to be of assistance at this crucial time. Julie?
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you to your team for organizing this webinar. To all the people participating today, you're in my heart. My team and I live here, we're local, and we are devastated by what we've seen. But we want you to know we're in it for the long haul. We are here for the full recovery. We also have surge teams from SBA's disaster team. Some are already here and more are coming. So you will start to see us hopefully everywhere. And our assistance is open. You're ready for applications. So I'm going to kind of do a quick overview of the types of assistance we have available, and I'll drop a bunch of the stuff in the chat when I'm finished speaking as well. So this is a presidential disaster. So that means all of SBA's disaster loan programs have been deployed. And this means we have assistance not only for small businesses, but we help homeowners, renters, businesses of all sizes, and private nonprofit organizations as well. There's 3 primary loan programs that I just want to outline really quickly. We have a home disaster loan. So this loan is for homeowners or renters. It's to repair or replace damaged or destroyed property. This includes real estate, but it also includes personal property. And so we can offer loan assistance, very low interest loan rates to homeowners for their uninsured losses up to $500,000 for real estate and up to $100,000 for personal property. The second loan program we have is a business disaster or business physical disaster loan, which is for businesses of all sizes and nonprofit organizations to help them repair or replace damaged property. And this includes the real estate as well, but also inventory, supplies, machinery, equipment, fixtures, anything that you may have within your property or stored somewhere, perhaps in warehousing. This is again for businesses of all sizes and nonprofits, and the maximum loan is $2 million. The third loan program we have is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And this is a program that is for small businesses specifically and nonprofits of any size. And this is the working capital line. So this is not to necessarily repair or replace damaged property, but it is for those working capital needs that a business might have that's been impacted by these fires. You know, businesses that maybe had that shut down completely, or maybe their employees have been displaced and they're not able to bring their workforce back and operate as normal. I mean, across the entire county, we're going to see businesses impacted in some way, shape, or form. And this is a program for especially for those small businesses that might not have had physical damage, but certainly have had an economic injury as a result of these fires and winds. Those are the three core programs. We have centers that are popping up. And in fact, I'm sitting in one right now in Pasadena. Our first center is open. So anyone can apply online as well, sba.gov/disaster. But if you want some assistance, you have a lot of questions, you want that one-on-one help, you want someone to sit down and go through the application for you, this is what our in-person centers are for. And I will drop those locations in the chat right now. We just opened today in Pasadena at Pasadena City College. And then we also have a center that's open in Camarillo that's ready for people. And then more will be coming in the next few days and weeks as well. But if you're just wondering where I can get more information, only thing you need to remember is sba.gov. There's even a banner at the top of our website that'll take you right into the information on the California wildfires about all of our loan assistance programs and how to apply online. And then also you can access links. I know Brent is going to talk about the SBDC, but all of our resource partners stand ready to help the business community too. And I'll let him talk a little bit more about how they're supporting, but you can find links to all of that information through our programs as well. I saw a question pop in about interest rates. They will vary. And so I can just give you quick parameters. So for home loans, interest rate can be as low as 2.563%. For the business loans, the rate can be as low as 4%. And then for nonprofit organizations, the rate can be as low as 3.625%. So these are low interest loans, and the rate will be determined based on your situation. And also, the other nice thing about this is we automatically have a 12-month deferral period. So from date of disbursement of the loan, no interest or payments are due for 12 months. So this is a program that we're encouraging people to, even apply and figure things out. You don't have to wait for insurance proceeds. You don't have to wait for FEMA. In fact, you can apply for FEMA assistance and SBA assistance at the same time. So please apply and then make sure you're taking advantage of the benefits that are available, and then you can decide later on even if you don't want it. So, but the thing is to get in the queue and get if you're interested in any of these programs, apply and be ready and have the access, so you can make informed decisions as you're going through the recovery process and figuring out what you want to do for yourselves, your home, your business.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you. We have a couple of quick follow-up questions, but before we do, let's go to Armida.
Hi, thank you, Julie. As a banker, I have to say we really appreciate the program. I know at our end, we've been calling our clients and sharing the SBA information because we really saw how beneficial it was during COVID with the PPP program and the EIDL program and all that. So thank you. One thing I want to just share too, is we see on the banking side, please, please to everyone, be really cautious of fraudulent that's happening right now. If you are getting calls from someone pretending to be from a bank, and that's any bank, we're seeing that across the board. They are calling, the fraudulents are calling people saying they're from the bank, and they're saying, give me your PIN number, give me your social security number, give me your confidential information. Please note that no banker is going to call you and ask you for your PIN number and ask you for those things. So please be extra cautious of your personal data information. We are seeing already, in some cases, our clients are falling for it, where their wires being requested. We've been able to stop it, and thank God there hasn't been any loss. But please just keep an eye on those things. Just like you have the looters out there, taking your personal property. Is the same concept on the financial side.
Thank
So
you,
thank you.
Armina. Appreciate that. Julie, a quick question for you. There's a question about a warning online. If a person has a GoFundMe campaign related to damages caused by the fire, that it could affect their eligibility for an SBA loan or grant, if there is such thing. Is that true? Do you know anything about that?
So our programs are meant to support uninsured losses or losses that are otherwise not compensated. So if there's funding from other sources, that can affect the amount. It doesn't affect your eligibility to apply. So I would still encourage people to apply if they're not sure. They can have those conversations with one of the customer service reps that are in these centers if they want to kind of walk through their specific scenario and see what they might be eligible for. Again, it won't affect their eligibility as far as applying, but it could affect the amount that they might be given. But every situation is unique, so I don't want to say a definitive yes or no. I would say let's talk about your specific situation offline and see how it may impact the overall amount, the loan amount.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I did put the web address in the chat, sba.gov, and that's where folks will be able to see the names of the loans, no doubt. There was a question about that. Can a business apply for EIDL and disaster loan?
Yes.
Yeah.
They can apply for both. The maximum combined as of right now is 2 million. But for between both programs, but yes, they can apply for both.
Beautiful. Thank you, Julie. I'm going to continue to look through the Q&A here, and if we don't get to everything before 11 o'clock, we will go ahead and send out a little FAQ list to everyone who registered. So we'll look through all of these if we don't get to them all. I do want to move to the state of California. So the governor has already issued some relief to help rebuild and expedite permitting. And so we're very thankful that both the mayor and the governor are working in lockstep to help us to rebuild quickly and bring some relief to those affected. We're so pleased to have with us Susana Ramirez Munozman. Munoz.
Munoz, yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Ramirez Munoz from the Southern California Resiliency Training, and she's the coordinator with that program. So Susana, thank you so much for Zooming in on behalf of Sacramento. Please, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Sonia, and to the Valley Economic Alliance for putting this together so quickly and for the invitation here. And thank you to the partners here today. First off, our thoughts and hearts are for those who may have been impacted by the fires directly or indirectly. Many of us have families and friends who have been affected by this disaster, so our hearts go out to them. And again, my name is Susana Ramirez Munoz. I am the Resiliency Training Coordinator for the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. And we are dedicated to support and service those small businesses seeking assistance. Our mission is to support California small businesses to scale and succeed by helping them advance resiliency of small businesses through disaster awareness and preparation with our awareness campaign called Outsmart Disaster. We help amplify the message of our partners, and we are committed to helping those small businesses through our network partners during these challenging times. We are working closely with the LA Network, SBDC, and I believe Brett will be here to talk more about that. And along with the LA County and SBA, you just heard from Julie, to provide those resources. So we're just here to amplify those voices. And then Julie had mentioned local assistance and disaster resources have been launched to support wildfire recovery. And just to reiterate, they're going to be open today. And we encourage you also to seek assistance at the centers and apply to the FEMA individual assistance. They're also there for you to apply. We do have a disaster resource page in our website for small businesses, but we have also developed a page specific to the resources available for those impacted in the wildfires. You could go to our webpage. I'll put it on the chat, and there will be a yellow banner. You click on that, and it'll take you straight to those resources. And we will be providing up-to-date information and support on this page, and will be updated as more resources and information become available for that. And then in addition, there are other state resources that can assist you during the recovery, such as the California Board of Equalization, in which you may be eligible for property tax relief, the California Department Tax of Fee and Administration. Services may include extension of tax returns, due dates, relief of penalty and interest, or replacing copies of records lost during the disaster. And the California Employee Development Center, the EDD. There's staff is located throughout the state, and here are local assistance centers to provide assistance with filling claims of unemployment benefits. And then the California Department of Insurance assist you with questions and tips about how to file your claim for those impacted. And these are just examples of some of the information we have on other state resources, just to name a few. But if our page, our disaster resource page, will be available to you, so you could go and it'll be updated again. Through our Outsmart Disaster Awareness campaign, we are committed to helping businesses with recovery efforts and preparation for disasters and building resiliency, so they are, able to recover faster and stronger. We hold monthly webinars to help guide you in the process, and they're also available in Spanish. So this information can also be found on our website. Please contact us at outsmartdisaster@gobiz.ca.gov with any questions. And I have also included, I'll include my direct email as well. Please don't go at it alone. We like to say here at Cal OSBA, there are wonderful organizations here today doing everything they can to support you during this difficult time. And we're here as a community to unite, and we'll rise stronger LA. So yes, thank you on behalf of Cal OSBA and my colleagues. I want to thank you for your time, and please be safe. If you have any questions.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Susanna. Appreciate that
Thank
very
you.
much. In terms, there are some questions about debris removal, like folks who are available to help with the rebuilding. And I understand that the state is going to be in charge of debris removal. So could you tell us a little bit, if you know, about what might be a process for contractors that are available to assist with that? I suppose the homeowners themselves, as they work with their insurance companies, will be hiring crews independently. The Alliance won't be involved with that work directly, by the way. However, I understand the state's in charge of debris removal. Do you have any information about how contractors can get involved with that?
You know what? No, our office is not directly involved in that, but we are, again, we have the disaster resource page where we're going to be updating information on that, and I'll put it down in my notes definitely, and bring it up, and definitely we'll have some sort of information on that.
Okay, good. And we'll keep people posted.
Mhm.
All right, we're going to go right to our next speaker. So we've heard from the federal government, the state, and now we're going to hear from the city, the Economic and Workforce Development Department. And we're thrilled to have the Assistant Chief Grants Administrator, Rosa Penalosa, with us. Rosa, we'd love to hear from you, please.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the City of Los Angeles Economic and Workforce Development Department and Mayor Karen Bass Office of Business Economic Development, we are working diligently to identify recovery resources to support all affected by the wildfires. To all attendees, we are devastated by the circumstances. Our hearts are with you, but united, we will recover. We are hopeful, and we are looking and working together with all government agencies to ensure that we can get all the proper aid necessary to all of you that have been impacted by these disasters. Whether you are a job seeker looking for employment services, or a youth looking for academic and employment assistance, or a business owner in need of technical and financial assistance, you definitely want to make sure that you take a look at our resources. The Economic and Workforce Development Department has 10 business source centers with qualified staff to assist you with access to capital, help you navigate anything that you may need for your business, even applications online, anything that you are having difficulty with. And furthermore, even if you need during these times of distress, assistance in filing your insurance claims or your leases, whatever you may need, we have staff and partners that can lend you that support. We have 14 WorkSource centers that are also known as the America's Job Centers of California throughout the city, readily available to assist adults and dislocated workers, job seekers, and provide job training and or any other assistance that you may need. I know right now, for those of you who are no longer employed or your businesses are not open and you need unemployment assistance, we have, key partners there on site at our WorkSource centers. In addition to that, we have 14 youth source centers helping youth ages 16 to 24 with paid internships, education, job training, and counseling. And most important, again, professional staff that are there to support you every single day. EWDD has a business response unit to help businesses navigate any matters with other intercity departments. And then, of course, we have incubators that can help you if you're interested in starting up a business and or need more one-on-one support. The city and the county of Los Angeles, along with other government agencies today, will open the LA Disaster Resource Center that actually is opening today at 1 p.m. And so we are, I'm going to be putting the link and information on the chat, but we will have this center open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we have an array of different not only government agencies, nonprofits, and any emergency responder that can possibly lend any support that may be needed. In the link, I'm also going to add, the disaster page that we have available for additional resources. And, at this time, the city continues to work diligently to identify additional financial support and or any way that we can assist anyone that has been impacted by this situation. So with that, that's all that I have for you right now.
Thank you, Rosa. Much appreciated. I know during the pandemic or after the pandemic, the city did have some loan programs, an SBA loan program and a grant program. And so if and when there are grant programs that will be coming up for small businesses, I know you'll let us know. Have you been hearing about anything about a small business grant program in the works yet?
Sonia, excellent question. There's a lot of discussion right now in trying to identify what are the potential resources that we can leverage. I know that several of us on this call that are government agencies have been in collaboration with several other departments to try to identify potential grants. And so as soon as that information becomes available, we will definitely share it with the entire network. And, if you are visiting the disaster recovery centers, it is my understanding that there's going to be transportation from certain shelters, to these recovery centers. So our goal is to make ourselves accessible, and then most important, to make sure that we get this information out. But yes, Sonia, there's a lot of talk, and we hope to have some additional information coming soon.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. We will continue to push out information. So everyone who's listening in, be sure to continue to check back on our disaster relief page at economicalliance.org/disaster-relief, which I did put in the chat. Julia, there are a lot of questions about SBA items, and hopefully if you can just take a look at the chat, and I'll circle back around if I can, if there's time. But if you have time and can look at those, then let's get some of those answered. And meanwhile, I think it's time for us to go to the SBDC. The SBDC is a fantastic network of business development centers that the Alliance works with, partners with, to deliver business assistance to our constituencies. And we're so thrilled to have Brett Dickstein with us from the SBDC system to talk to us a little bit. Brett, I know a lot of people have been asking about small business grants. There are loans, which are incredibly helpful, and there are grants. Distinction between the two, of course, grants do not need to be repaid. So really curious what you're hearing, Brett, and what help is available and what resources you've been seeing already coming out, even though it's early. Brett?
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. The Small Business Development Center, the SBDC, it's a network of advisors that work hand in hand with the SBA and our community partners like the Valley Economic Alliance and other technical assistance providers to support the small business ecosystem. The SBDC has advisors available now for in-person assistance at 3 disaster loan outreach centers. Our advisors can help with questions about business continuity, the various disaster loan applications that everyone's trying to navigate and how to get those in. These centers are located in Pasadena, Ventura, and Santa Monica. And I'll paste the locations of each of those in the chat. You can visit those right now in person. You can also call the SBA Customer Service Center or send an email. I'll include in the chat the information for those contacts as well. The SBDC has created a disaster relief guide, and that has all important information just to help you kind of navigate step by step how to get through some of these challenges you're going through. I'll paste that. That's a PDF file. I'll paste that in the chat as well. Just some key items that I've been seeing as resources available that I think are noteworthy. The filing deadlines for some of these applications for the physical property damage is March 10th. The deadline to return any economic injury applications is October 8th. We can talk more with the advisors, or if you have questions, you can contact some of those folks. Also, people are encouraged to apply simultaneously for FEMA grants and SBA low interest disaster loan assistance programs. The FEMA grants are intended to cover necessary expenses and serious needs that are not paid by insurance or other sources. That includes like temporary housing, childcare, medical, lodging, moving, property damage, appliances, furniture, vehicle, things like that. The SBA disaster loan programs are designed for both immediate economic injury due to loss of business income, as well as financing for any long-term business recovery. There's, as Julie, my colleague, had said, there's home disaster loans, there's physical disaster loans for the business, there's economic injury disaster loans that are all intended to help you get through this during the disaster recovery period. And again, if you need any help with those, I'll put the link in of where you can meet with advisors or call advisors to kind of figure out how to navigate those. The application portals for the FEMA disaster assistance and the SBA programs are all open. I'll give you links as well in the chat for those programs. I'll also put in links to any unemployment assistance that might be helpful. There's also an organization that we partner with called Operation Hope. They have various counselors and coaches that can help, especially with any applicants that might have some credit score challenges, because even through all this, credit score is going to be evaluated. So there's counselors there that can help with credit counseling and credit repair. Also noteworthy is that the IRS tax relief program, they've any taxpayers affected by these fires in California have an extended deadline through mid-October to file any federal, individual, or business tax returns or make any tax payments. And I'll put all this information, I'll just copy it all into the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brett. Much appreciated. There was talk about grants, loans, the distinction between the two. There was a question that I saw about, the PPP loans were forgiven or forgivable. Are these loans that we're talking about potentially forgivable as well?
It's too early to say right now if there's going to be any kind of programs like the PPP was very special for during the pandemic, which was a national. And I have not heard any chatter about anything like that. My instinct might be that down the road, maybe the state of California will have some sort of grant programs like they did, during the pandemic. But this is, a different situation, and I haven't heard anything right now about grants. But I know what is available immediately are the FEMA grant programs and the SBDC, all sorts of, the SBA loan programs, which is immediately available. But grants, I'm not sure at this point, other than FEMA. Right.
Right. Okay.
I'll put the
Thank
links
you
in for
so
that
much.
as well.
Appreciate it. And all of our speakers, if you have links and deadlines, if you wouldn't mind putting those in the chat so we can affiliate all the wonderful information we're hearing with the link and the deadline that applies, that'll be so helpful. And we're getting through a lot of information. We'll sort through it also over time. So I want to go to one of our partners, the LA Economic Development Corporation, LAEDC, and they're a countywide organization that has been an alliance partner for many years and does really great work in a variety of ways. And I want to introduce to you Barbara Levine and Lyndon Johnson, who will be doing a 5-minute presentation for us from LAEDC. Lyndon and Barbara. I'm not hearing, I see the presentation, but not hearing you quite.
Good morning, everybody. Lyndon's going to start us off.
I'm not hearing Lyndon.
Sorry, everyone. I was having technical difficulties. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Wonderful. Thank you guys all so much. My apologies for the technical difficulties. My name is Lyndon Johnson. I'm the Senior Director of our Business Assistance Program here at the LAEDC, and I have my esteemed colleague, Barbara Levine, who is our Senior Director of Government Affairs with us. So we are a private nonprofit, and we work to really support businesses throughout the community. Our mission is to reinvent our economy to collaboratively advance growth and prosperity for all. And we have our business assistance program, and we help businesses overcome many obstacles and help them to grow and to work through, these trying times that I'm sure you guys are going through now. And we really consider ourselves like a connection of resources. So, to really help you guys know about any grant programs that are happening or any new loan resources that are coming out. If you guys need assistance with anything, we work really closely with all of our partners on here, TVA, the SBDCs, many of the partners on here. We work really collaboratively together to really provide assistance, especially during these trying times that we're going through now. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Barbara Levine, to kind of walk you through some of the things we have coming up.
Hi, everybody. Number one, I really want to say we're all in this together. We're strong when we work together. And I know it's confusing having so many partners on the same brief webinar. We all work together. We're all friends. We're partners. We're all here for you every step of the way. I'd like to give a shout out to our very good friends with the City of LA, as well as I know our partners that are, in the chat box, the County Department of Economic Opportunity. We all work together, and LAEDC staff will also be at the disaster centers that are opening today in West LA as well as Pasadena. What we want to do is push information out on small business assistance programs, and we want to focus on recovery also. In the meantime, please go to our website, click on the link that says Get Assistance. And what we've been trying to do rather quickly is catalog different kinds of assistance and for you, and we're trying to catalog it. The best way for you to get assistance from us is click the link that says Business Assistance and fill out the form. Now, what the form will do, it'll give us a jump start on some programs that might be good for you, or other programs that are available, or other resources that we can introduce. We'll have a chance to review it, and it'll be assigned to one of our regional managers or staff that covers where your business is, or some other additional services. We also work with the Together for Los Angeles Consortium. This is a program that was set up originally, during COVID. Our partners include the City of LA, the County of LA, the Dr. Lucy Jones Center, BizFed, and others. So what will start to happen, it could be as early as this Friday, is a weekly webinar at 11 o'clock focusing on recovery. There are a number of business assistance organizations and tactics to get you through your different stages. We want to start focusing on recovery and making sure that businesses and you have exactly what you need. So the information on the weekly recovery webinars, we'll send that to Sonia and ask Sonia to distribute it through her channels as well. So we're here for you. Please know that we want to be here for you. We want to listen to your needs. Several of us are veterans of different disasters, including the Woolsey Fire. What's most important, and I'm preaching to the choir, please keep track of your documents, your documentation. We're getting a lot of requests from different kinds of businesses that have not been able to operate because their clients are in impacted areas. Please document the economic recovery or the costs that you've incurred by lost business, and work definitely with the small business development centers and the SBA, as well as us, on seeing where that goes with economic injury loans or other programs that will be forthcoming. There are programs in development. Please stay tuned. The LAEDC and our partners are part of daily meetings, so stay tuned for more information. And once again, we're all in this together, and we are for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara and Lyndon. So appreciate that. And our final speaker today, and then we're going to dive into Q&A for some time, as much as we can get to today, and then we'll compile everything in one compendium and we'll post it on our website. Is MCS, our Business Source Center partners who also work with us in business assistance for companies throughout the year, and especially now in time of need. I'm so thankful that Luis Luna, the director, is here with us today. Luis, please share with us what you're working on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Sonia, and thank you everybody for inviting us. Unfortunately, I'm filling in for Jessica Acevedo, who's one of our consultants at our center. She wasn't available to join, and more than anything, I'm here. But yes, first and foremost, I hope everybody's okay. I'm Luis Luna, the Director of Economic Development at MCS, and I'm also the Program Director for 2 City of Los Angeles Business Source Centers. One thing that I was just talking to a bank about is that at the start of the year, we're very optimistic about recovering from COVID-19. And with these recent fires and disasters, it really feels like deja vu. But it's also a reminder that the importance of preparation and the importance of community support. I personally had to prepare to evacuate from the South San Fernando Valley, and in reality, it brought home how deeply these events impacts all of us. But one key lesson that I learned from the pandemic was that I feel that many small businesses didn't know about the help that was available to them. Or didn't feel too comfortable reaching out. And this time I'm very committed on making sure that the resources and the support reaches every small businesses that need some. So here, for those that are not familiar with the Business Source Centers, as Rosa mentioned, there's 10 Business Source Centers in the city of LA. I oversee 2, and one of them is here in the San Fernando Valley. That's on the Reseda side. These are all the general services that we provide, assistance with business license and registration. Right now, one of the things that I definitely see, and again, going back to some of these events, it's that we offer temporary license for those that need help relocating. We also, and more importantly, we provide support with access capital, and we offer monthly workshops. So these are the services that we have developed, and more than anything, we're catering to those who have been affected directly and indirectly with the disaster. So first and foremost, we're a complement to all the services providers that, all the technical assistance providers that are on this call, specifically the SBA, LAEDC. I mean, we're partners with them. So we provide, so with the disaster loan and grants assistance, we're providing direct support and applying for all the SBA disaster loans, EIDL, local and state grant programs. We offer one-on-one consultations to simplify the process and provide the technical support for every step of the way until being funded. What that means is that we sit down with you, making sure that you understand what is being asked in the application, and more importantly, if you need assistance in filling out applications, we are open our office or our centers to provide you with that technical support. We also have access to emergency capital. We partner with several CDFI or community development financial institutions that there are state-funded lenders, and they provide low-cost loans. So we have a simple application process with several CDFI lenders that we're able to expedite the funding process that will take 2 to 5 business days, from loans from $5,000 to $10,000 to $100,000. We've also partnered up with insurance professionals or legal advisors like Beth Sadek, who's also a resource for the city of LA under EWDD. And we're using them to provide to guide businesses throughout the claim documentation and making sure that they are paid out. The other part is the recovery, so business recovery workshops. So we're hosting several workshops on topics like accessing disaster relief funding, rebuilding operations, and creating emergency plans for the future. And one of them is also small business certifications for the procurement opportunities that might be coming. With that, I want to invite you guys next week. We're going to be having 2 workshops. Again, it's actually with Julie and the SBA. We're going to be going into detail about, well, first and foremost, we're going to be covering the basics of what is needed to apply for the disaster loans and the disaster programs that the SBA has. And we're also going to go through step by step in the application process and how to submit it successfully. We're going to be having it on Tuesday in English at 5 p.m. and then we're going to have it the following day on Wednesday in Spanish for those that are interested in joining us. Again, it's at no cost. Feel free to join. I put here some of the available grants that we have. Again, we have direct communication with these providers. And more than anything, I saw that we didn't include the links, but I mean, a simple Google search. What I could also do is I could send you guys the link directly. Definitely screenshot this or write it down, check it out. And more than anything, that help. And also the SBA disaster loan. So once the SBA opened up their disaster loans, we've gotten several calls regarding them. And again, one of the things that I want to make sure that I communicate is that this for those businesses that have been directly and indirectly been affected by the disasters here in the city of LA. And just keep us in mind if you need the support and the help to submit your application successfly. Here's our contact information. Our office here in San Fernando is in Reseda. You can contact us through this email, West Valley Business Source Center, or bsc@mcslosangeles.com. Contact our office, follow us on Instagram or on LinkedIn to stay updated. And with that, thank you, Sonia.
Thank you so much, Luis, and thank you to all of our speakers. Now let's dive into some more questions that we're seeing. I just want to say thank you. That was very helpful information. I'm getting lots of feedback in the chat about that. One of the questions that I see comes up quite a bit is, how long does it take to get approved for a disaster loan? And I wonder if, Julie, are you still with us to be able to give us a sense of that, or Brett? Okay, they must have had to hop onto another call. Let's see if we can come back to that one. Let's see. This one also relates to the emergency loan. You mentioned something about direct and indirectly affected, Luis, and those grants are for both categories. Can anyone else speak to, oh, good, Julie, you're back. Thank you.
Hey, Sonia. Yeah, so sorry, I'm multitasking.
Question for you about how long is the approval or review time running for disaster loans? Do you know?
That's a great question. It's going to depend on the type of which program they're applying for, because, depending on what type of documentation and things that are going to need to be submitted. So I would tell people, go ahead and get your application started and in the system as soon as you can if you're interested in these programs, and then watch your email, because SBA might come back to you and say, hey, this is great, I got your application, I'm reviewing it, and I have a question, or I need a piece of information from you. So as long as you can be responsive and participate in that process, that makes it all go much faster and get you to that closing date that much faster.
Okay, fantastic. And there's a question about who's eligible for some of this support. Is it only in the evacuation zones or all businesses within LA County?
So all businesses, homeowners, renters, nonprofits in LA County are eligible for all three programs that I mentioned. The contiguous counties of Ventura and Kern, San Bernardino, and Orange, the economic injury disaster loan is available for small businesses and nonprofits. But for all of LA County, all three programs, homeowners, renters, businesses, and nonprofits are eligible throughout the county.
Okay, fantastic. And Susanna, there's a question here about during the pandemic, the EDD offered unemployment benefits to business owners. Any sense of what EDD will be doing with regard to unemployment benefits for business owners for this crisis?
I'm not sure. I know if you go directly to their website, they are very on top of putting updated information on that. But I'm not aware of any of that at this point.
Okay, no problem. We
Yeah.
have a wonderful EDD partner, and we'll reach out to that State Department
Perfect.
and get some information on that. There was something about reposting the info for the Governor's Office of Resiliency. Since the chat's been so busy, Suzanne, I wonder if you wouldn't mind reposting. It's kind of hard to find it.
I'll do that now.
There's mention of SCORE for free mentoring, which is great, and Women's Business Center with free advising. And Luis, we're being asked if you can email a copy of the workshop flyer. So if you send that to us, we can send that out to our participants from today. Now I'm going to move to the chat. Okay, there's been a question about respiratory illnesses and the impact of smoke and folks not able to work because of nosebleeds, headaches, and all of that. Red Cross, maybe Megan, I don't know if you have an idea of what people are being advised to do to minimize the respiratory impacts. And then if anyone else has any information about if that's considered part of the impact, and can people apply for loans if they've been impacted in that way. First, let's go to Megan with the health advisory.
Thank you, Sonia. You're right that the second part is out of scope for me, but the advice is quite simple. It's to get the best mask you can get to breathe as clean and filtered air as possible. So the libraries have PPE available, as do Red Cross shelters. We had a pallet of 6,000 N95 masks delivered 2 days ago. So just make sure people have those N95s.
Okay, beautiful. And any feedback on if this is considered a qualifying eligibility criterion for some of the loans and the grant support? Luis, Brett, or Julie? Is it just economic impact, or is it also the health impact that causes people to be eligible for the support? What do you think, Brett? Is there anything with regard to the SBDC, the SBA loans that you can mention?
Hey, Sonia. It's Julie. So for our programs, even from the economic injury perspective, it's for small businesses and nonprofits. So that's exactly the situation. They may not have been affected directly by the fire. They might not have had damage to their physical property, but they have an economic injury. They've lost revenue or are continuing to lose revenue for any number of reasons as a direct result of the fires. So that's what that program is there for. So yes, it covers part of it. It doesn't have a specific healthcare component, but the EIDL is working capital, so it's meant to help the business sustain itself and pay its ordinary bills during this time when we know revenue is either diminished or has hopefully, or in some cases maybe they're not even able to open, so there's no revenue.
Right, right. Okay, wonderful. Well, so many more questions than we have time for. We are going to be holding our next webinar at 11 a.m. with regard to nonprofits. We're going to be focusing in on nonprofits and identifying what it is that some of them are needing and starting to share information if we can find out what kinds of grants might be available for nonprofits specifically to help meet the needs and respond to the needs of this disaster. So I want to thank everyone for participating. Thank you so much to our speakers. You fielded those questions as I lobbed them at you so expertly, and really appreciate your compassion and your care for our community in this incredible time of need. So we will be compiling the information. Keep a lookout at economicalliance.org/disaster-relief. And stay safe out there, everyone. We look forward to being of service to you in the coming months. Bye-bye, everybody.